let's transition to this, though. AAC Commissioner Mike Aresco came out with a pretty long article and letter to college football. I don't know if you guys saw this, but we'll paraphrase for you. He came out and wrote one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's literally one of the more stupid things I've ever heard a commissioner say. In his letter or rant or whatever you want to call it, he said that he wants the elimination of the Power 5 label. It was the media that did it. No, the media didn't do it. It was literally the whole reasoning of why the playoffs started is you talking about Power 5 opponents. If you win your league, a Power 5 opponent, you could get into one of the 4 spots. He said he wants to eliminate that. He also says that Power 5, driven by the media when they don't know what they're talking about. That's interesting because we didn't come up with that. He says it's wrong for conferences. This is where he lost me in this article. He says it's wrong for conferences that have and make more money than us for them to feel like they're superior to us. And then he would basically go on and say other AAC, other conferences beside the AAC, ACC, Big 12, SEC, Pac-12, and Big 12, all other conferences are pretty much Rudy Poo. Buddy, you're Rudy Poo too. So I don't even know why I need to be mentioning this guy. What are you talking? What is he talking about here?
That statement, this is a capitalistic environment. You're competing for being the best conference, the best football teams. And you just mentioned that the AAC makes less money, has less talented players, has less talented football programs. I love watching the AAC. I'm going to sit here and say that. I played at an FCS football program. I appreciate the group of 5. I love to talk about them. But to sit here and complain that the quite literally better conferences, the better companies think that they're superior than you when they literally are is ridiculous. That's like me being at Rhode Island and saying, why does Alabama think they're better than us? Because they are. Because they are. What are we talking about? This is the most whiny bullshit I've ever heard.
It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. Like, and he contradicts himself, right? Like, he contradicts himself in this letter. Listen, okay, I don't mean this in a wrong way, but I also believe that we take commissioners from the group of 5, their words a little too much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, like your boy out in the Big 12, you guys out in the Pac-12. It's not our fault that your conference is getting poached. You can whine all the live long day. You can whine about this, whine about that. You know who doesn't whine? The Big 10 and the SEC. They don't whine. And for what it's worth, the ACC, when they were met with things head on, you know what they did? They started shutting people up and making threats and telling Sankey, go ahead and do it and see what I do to you. That's what elite dudes in a capitalistic society do, like you mentioned. I don't want to hear about Mike Aresco. Why do I need to hear about the AAC's got their feelings hurt? Oh, no, they got their little feelings hurt. You're not a good fucking conference. Sorry for the language, but you're not fucking good. I said it again. They're not fucking good. You might have to edit that part out, but they're not.
But, okay, here's the other aspect of this, too.
Are you going to have to edit that out? Did I do something wrong?
No, you're good.
Okay, it's TV 14. I get 3 F words.
Yes. Yeah, okay. You gotta. It's not FCC regulated. But Blake, here's one thing that you just brought up there. Is that for them to complain is such a ridiculous way to handle this, because this is a complaint. This is a penned complaint to the public. This isn't a declaration of like, we want to be taken more seriously. And look, if you want to change the public perception, put out better products, spend more money on trying to get more bigger recruits to your football programs, and also maybe boost your social media presence. There's so many different ways to improve the outlook on the conference, but to pen a public complaint is the most soft approach to handling this. You know what other conferences did? Other small football programs that moved their way up? They busted their ass. They spent decades working their way up. This conference wasn't even a thing.
It
was
was,
it, 5-10 years ago?
I mean, basically, didn't they take the Big East, or what did they take?
Yes.
I mean,
it was the Big East, and I think part of the AAC. No, I don't even remember, but I know it was mostly the Big East.
I mean, Joe, can I be real with you? I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can name all the teams in the AAC. I really don't. I mean, and they got poached, dude. Look, the Big 12 poached them. What's crazy about this is he thinks that, oh, we're a part of this too. No, you're not, because why did Cincinnati go to the Big 12? Why did Houston go to the Big 12? Why are teams going in the Big 12? You're not, because your conference is horrible. You don't generate the money that even the Big 12 does, and the Big 12 is losing their two biggest superstars in Texas and Oklahoma. You're not making the money. Hey, Joe, I mentioned earlier about Tulane. You know why Tulane's talking to Pac-12? And this isn't a rumor. Like, I don't say this lightly. This isn't just a little rumor that I'm throwing out there. It is actually happening. I know for a fact that Tulane is talking to the Pac-12, and now the Big 12 wants to get involved in this. You know why Tulane don't want to be in a group of 5? Because they know they could beat USC, and they could get paid more money for it.
Yes.
And so, look, it is what it is, man. I hate it for you. I hate it for you, little guy. But
right, it's like that's my whole big thing, and I know that we don't even really need to sit here and fully pick this thing apart, because like we're saying the same thing here. It's that if you want to work out of that stigma, you have to put in the work to do it. For how short of a period of time this conference has been around, and honestly, to leapfrog, to be around for such a short period of time, and then leapfrog all of the other low-level G5 programs and conferences, to do that, that's an accomplishment. You just want inclusion, and it's to set up your teams to then go to the playoff, and say you want 2 teams that are that's not a ridiculous statement, but like you want the ability to have more than just the qualifier in. You really want to set up your teams to get smoked? Because that's what's going to happen.
Well, here's the problem with that. Here's the only problem.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Okay, here's the only thing I'll defend him on.
Okay.
Tulane's beating Kansas State and USC.
But
Cincinnati is getting to a playoff.
You can really realistically only produce one good team.
I agree.
The second best team is going to have a significant gap. That's my whole point.
Well, I don't mean this in the wrong way. For about a 10-year stretch, the only thing the Big Ten could do was produce one good team, and that was Ohio State.